Any further public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment. Judge Toon, do you want to come up and address that question?
A similar question was posed at the recent Assembly Bill hearing, and the information that was provided is that the Justice of the Peace, with the exception of the Justice sitting in Laughlin, are considered part-time employees, and the information that I was told was that we are compensated about 40% of what the full-time Justice of the Peace are compensated at that work in the urban areas in Clark County. The Clark County Commission, as was noted earlier, does control the salaries of the Justices of the Peace.
Can I ask you a real interesting question?
You bet.
You're paid the same as the judge in Searchlight?
I don't know that 100%. I believe that there's a base salary that most of the justices are paid, with the exception of Laughlin, which I believe has a little bit bigger caseload.
Okay.
I do need to note that there are some differences between how our court works in connection with representation or with reference to some of the other courts. Our traffic court and misdemeanor cases are going through our municipal court, whereas a Justice of the Peace in one of the other rural areas that's not incorporated, they would have the misdemeanors, the traffic, as well as the gross misdemeanors and the felonies. So there's a little bit of difference there.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Rapson.
Yeah, for the broken record, I applaud the Clark County Commission for trying to save money. God bless them. But I think the reasons that Judge Toon listed, the community involvement, the personal nature of the legal system in a small town is important, and I think the disenfranchisement and all that is interesting for a small town. But I think the commission is, rather than cutting salaries or cutting wages or paying what the job is worth, is taking an easy way out by saying, okay, let's just get rid of some of them and combine them up. And my personal opinion is I think the Amendment 2 is probably the most effective. If there's smaller jurisdictions or townships that can share and have similar demographics and certain other aspects, then they should share. But this is a town of 20,000 people almost, and I think we have, with a freeway running through us, we have plenty of things to deal with in a gaming town with the troubles that come along with that. I think it's important that we have the ability to issue search warrants and to issue protective orders locally and quickly.
Any further comments from council? Questions from council? Councilman Haven, did you have a question?
I was going to say, if that was a motion, I'll second.
Okay, hang on. Councilman Gustavson, do you have a question or comment?
Well, yeah, I did want to weigh in on this, because I do think it's very, very important to this community, and we are a larger community. We're way larger than Laughlin or Searchlight or any of the other small county communities, and so I do think that we should have our own. I don't think we want somebody traveling with a carpet bag into Mesquite to function for us. I also support amendment number 2, leave Mesquite alone.
Okay. Councilman Littman?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick comment. If you go back and study the history of why they had circuit court judges in the original days, the circuit court judges that went around the little towns out west and so forth were usually the only people that could read or write. We've gone long past that now, and I think there's qualified people in these small communities. They can serve, whether it be part-time or half-time, whatever the case may be.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman. Any further thoughts, considerations, or opinions, questions? Seeing none, I would really appreciate some direction on this so we can get it to our lobbyists and get it up to the legislature as soon as possible. So, Councilman Rapson.
Well, if I could read, I'd make a motion.
You're not a circuit court judge, so
Okay, I'm ready to make a
go ahead, Councilman.
motion. I move to formalize the city's position and authorize the necessary parties to carry out the city's position with respect to alternative possible amendment 2. Do I need to read that?
I'm gonna say if you're okay with that. I know what Amendment 2 is. Are we okay with that, Ms. Hunt? There, I just chickened out.
Yes, you're
Okay,
okay as long
thank
as
you.
it's Agenda 2 on the agenda packet
All
and the
right.
suggestions.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second we're looking for. Councilman Hafen?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We'll call for the vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Councilman Withelder.